Hey everybody, I feel kind of bad because I don't have any dick jokes. But a coworker of mine said, "Hey, you want a kitten?" And I said, "Sure, I can keep a cat alive." So he came to work one day and brought me the kitten. It's about, fits in the size, fit in my hand, just like that. And I didn't have a pet carrier, so I decided to swaddle her in my sweater and drive her home in my lap. And on the way home, everything was going okay, and then suddenly she starts screaming and starts spinning around, and then her eyes roll back into her head and she passes out. So I thought, I haven't even made it a block and I've killed this cat. And then I stood there and I went, she crapped in my sweater. She wasn't having a seizure, but I kept her anyway, and the sweater. I think it was a thing with her, this pooping thing. It was traumatic. So every time she would go and take a crap in the litter box, she'd start screaming again. And I speak cat, and it kind of translates to, "What's coming out of my ass?" So I thought that would be fun to do in a public restroom. So I'd go to these 5-star restaurants, and I'd be in the bathroom banging on the stall. "Hey, what's coming out of my ass?" I'm single. I have some other great traits too. This dates back to when I was in the womb, actually. Before that, my sister was in there. She's a couple years older than I am, and when she was in there, she was like dancing and breaking my mother's ribs, and when I was in there, nothing. And we're Jewish, so my mom said, "I thought you were dead in there." I wasn't. So she races to the doctor with me, because, And the doctor's Jewish too, so keep that in mind. So she goes, "Dr. Kravitz, what's going on?" And he has her listen to my heartbeat, and it was a really strong heartbeat. So, I'm feeling pretty good in there. She was not having it at all. So she's like, "Come on, Dr. Kravitz." And he's like, "Well, Mrs. Rothstein, you have a lazy fetus." I don't know what it is with Jews and catastrophe, but whenever she tells the story, she likes to say something like, "Oh, you remember Dr. Kravitz. He was such a good guy, died at his desk. But he always took care of your lazy ass and your wonderful sister. You remember Edith, our neighbor? She was a wonderful woman, had a pulmonary embolism at the age of 62, died right in front of her husband. She baked the greatest cookies. Remember Mr. Silverman? May he rest in peace. Ma, he's not dead. Well, he should be." I once went to the gynecologist on Take Your Kid to Work Day. I don't know why weird things happen to me when I go to the gynecologist, but one day it was, "Hey, let's bring the medical students around." And so, I'm standing there, or sitting there really, and the doctor's like, "Hey, do you mind?" And I'm like, half a dozen people want to look at my vagina? Score.